I've got a confession to make. With my recent back pain, actually it's before that, I'm not going to fucking make any excuses. I've started vaping again, and it's really made me think. You know, when I was growing up, I saw my parents do a lot of stuff, but the first thing, the first habit I would say that I naturally picked up was smoking. And that's because I think when you see a lot of these things happening around you, it becomes like normalized and it becomes normal. So you will automatically just pick up these habits, and they'll become, before you know it, a fucking part of you. That's how, new habits are formed, good or bad. But for some reason, I've started vaping again. And one of my daughters, Courtney, she started vaping as well, but she was not even a smoker beforehand. She just suddenly started vaping. A lot of young people are vaping now. It's become like a thing, But it's not normal to smoke. For anyone who might be young, I'm basically speaking to my younger self. Or for anyone who might be, younger. These videos, they don't really, when you start a new YouTube channel, they don't go to all of your subscribers all the time. They'll show the video to a lot of new viewers. So maybe you're a young person seeing this, or you're someone like how I used to be, or maybe you're just trying to quit smoking. It's not normal to breathe in fucking smoke and chemicals. Do you know what I mean? The long-term effects of vaping are we're not even fully aware of them, because vaping's only been a thing for like the last few years. It's probably going to be a decade or two before we fully understand what we're fucking doing to ourselves. But it's not normal. One of my, obvious concerns is for my kids. Do you know what I mean? That they see. I mean, to be honest, I don't really vape around them. They've seen it enough times to get the idea probably that it's okay to do, and it's not fucking okay. And I've said to my kids, do what I do what I say, don't do what I do. But that's what, the attitude that my dad used to have. And, it doesn't make any sense. You really have to lead by example. So this is something that I'm going to have to carve out again, Sometimes these habits can creep back in. And you need to be on your toes, especially for your kids' sake. It's my job as a parent, as well as to provide everything that my kids need financially, is to prepare them, to live, basically, and to set some sort of moral standard for them. And, I know, especially if you've had worse habits like I have before, people say, oh, it's just vaping, it's just smoking, it's okay. Depends on your point of view, but for me, it's not. Like, I do give myself a hard time about these things. No one else is going to do that for you. You have to give yourself a hard time. You have to be your own worst critic. And you have to stand by your beliefs. And I do look at things more and more, and not just today or tomorrow or next week. You have to learn to think sometimes in years to come, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. I find that super helpful. But, as well as providing for my kids financially and all that other stuff, I want them to be confident. And, I think if you are to make the best of things, whatever your situation is, you need to feel as good as possible all of the time. Otherwise, you know, you're not going to be in the right mind state to make the right decisions that you need to make for yourself, or to be able to discern information properly, you know. Sometimes things can happen and you'll be unaware of, you know, what it means, if you know what I mean, or the consequences or things that can happen. And this is happening every day. Like, it doesn't matter how small the situation is. Every situation has knock-on effects. Every conversation, every action, you know, or not, you know, unreaction, if you will, all has a consequence. If you're not taking care of yourself or your fitness, you are basically becoming unfit, you know. You might be able to maintain a certain level of fitness and health, but if you're not nurturing it, then you're, you know, by default, you are becoming unfit. And it's the same with anything, really, but it's all a juggling act. You know, I've found lately, the more I concentrate on one thing, the more another thing gets away from me, you know. And I haven't made one of these videos in a few days because I've just been taking some time, you know, to spend a bit more with family, and just to have a little rethink of like my direction, and just to become more aware of the balance of things, you know. On my channel I do talk about, you know, having drive, being competitive, having the will to become better, you know, become a greater version of yourself, you know, to get more success, whatever that means for you, to build your relationships, you know, to build a strong physique or something you can feel confident about, you know. It's not about having fucking sub 10% body fat. It's about feeling good, you know, being strong, building a strong character. But, you know, sometimes if you concentrate more on one thing, everything else can fall by the wayside. And I know it's fucking cliche, oh, it's all about balance. You know, sometimes it's really not all about balance. If you want to achieve something, you have to fully concentrate your energies on that. But it's not fully conducive to a happy life. Do you know what I mean? So if you, by some chance, I mean, I click on the option that says this video is not for kids, do you know what I mean? Because I swear and stuff, so I know this gets pushed to adults. But if you've just started vaping, please don't fucking do it. Just please don't do it. Please don't smoke. You know, please don't ingest anything into your system that is not beneficial for you. Because once you start smoking and it becomes a part of you, it's going to be really fucking hard to stop. And I mean very fucking hard, like indescribably hard. And you don't want to be in the position where you have to rely on something just to feel like you can get through a fucking day. Do you know what I mean? Something that's not beneficial for you. You know, we rely on other things, like, you know, I love going to the gym all the time. I like to meditate, and do you know what I mean? I have a little bit of mindfulness in the morning. Prayer, meditation, going to the gym. You know, I rely on those things, but they're not destructive for me. So please don't start vaping. Don't start smoking. It's going to be so fucking hard for you to stop. You're going to spend ultimately thousands on it. If it becomes a lifetime habit like it has been for me, you're going to spend thousands. And you can't afford to waste that money. Nobody can. But we don't think about these things, or we start to earn more money and think, you know, you rationalise it and think, oh, it's okay. It's not okay. Please don't do it.